Ladies and gentlemen, well, welcome you once again to XRL's X3 division. Gentlemen, I want to say this has been a very interesting championship season. We're in the final stretch now, about to enter the last few races of the season, and the fight at the top has gotten more intense than ever with the recent change of performance to the better that both XRL Fiend, now known as XRL Jigsaw, and V8 Irons have been having. It looks like we may be going from a 3-man championship fight to a 5-man championship fight in these closing races. Also, Gusty has finally recovered after losing a lot of points in the last few races. Well, not a lot, but enough to put him back. He has now retaken the points lead after coming home in the podium positions last week at Australia, while Stone Shuffle, having crashed out with 2 laps to go, barely earned any points. Stone Shuffle is back into the second place, with Shelby third, obviously. Then V8 Irons and XRL Fiend, now Jigsaw, is in 4th and 5th, mathematically within striking distance, and if they continue their late season surge, they could pull a championship out of it. But before we get too far into anything, though, we need to look at the track itself, because Yas Marina, this is going to be one of the last times we ever see this layout to Yas Marina, with the really annoying chicanes at various parts of the circuit. After this weekend, we are likely to never see this layout at Yas Marina again. We'll be going to the more rounded layout that was used for the finale of the 2021 season. So keep that in mind going forward. XRL Veloce apparently making an interesting decision. He will be the first driver to come out onto the pit lane. Well, second driver coming out of pit lane. Breezy looks like he beat him, but Veloce is going to try and do it on the medium tire compounds. Soft tires are king here. During the realistic league race yesterday, soft tires were better than mediums after 12 laps. Realistically, you could go ahead and feasibly get a single medium, soft, medium strategy, and you'll be good. The big thing, though, is that the medium tires are so low on pace that you need to save every set of soft tires you can. If Veloce is fast enough and can get a lap in on the medium tires and advance into Q2, he will have a free set of softs that he can either choose to use in qualifying or potentially use in the race itself. He will still have to go to a set of mediums during the event itself, but still, he's trying to play some games here to work out in his favor. Bunch of drivers in the middle of laps right now. This is Harry, 5902. He is taking over the second McLaren seat as a reserve for today's event. The first man that's going to come across the line is going to be this boy here, XRL Breezy, in the Aston Martin team. What we're going to do is, here in the broadcasting booth, we're going to go silent for about a lap, so you get an idea of what a lap around this old Yas Marina layout is like with these cars one last time. Veloce has had a spin and an instant there coming out of 4. We'll catch up with Ryan on board someone else in a bit, but for Veloce, it looks like he's gotten lucky. No significant damage to that car, but issue with maintaining grip on the softer tire compounds. Oh, and he's not the only one. That's an Alfa Romeo. That's Dave Ewart. No, that's not Dave Ewart. It's Collie Boy, who has had an instant coming into the back straight away, and with the front wing damage, this is not going to be a good lap for him. Alright, we're going to go silent and ride on board for a lap with Harry, 5902 instead, so you get an idea of what's on. But again, if something else happens, I will cut in and try to switch to it real quickly. Breezy set the first lap at 135.9 and crashed out right afterwards. Snake has set a lap now afterwards, but our first crash DNF of the session. You can see Breezy's car off out to Breezy and try to get him into the party. See what happened from his perspective. But now this man Snake is the one on top. Hopefully we can get Breezy into the booth. But with that, only 17 drivers show up here with exit spots serving the qualifying ban, and Breezy having crashed out. This means that we could, no guarantee, but we could see a scenario where that's it, and everyone who's on track right now could advance. The counterpoint to that, though, is that Breezy's time was a 135.9. No one else has come close to it. Breezy could inadvertently have had a negative knock-on effect, and we might only see 14 people advance to the next round of qualifying. So, we're going to go silent and ride on board now with irons, and hopefully this works out, unless Breezy joins midway through. All right, and that's a full lap on board with V8 irons, 136.468. It's the third fastest time we've seen thus far today. Gonna reach out to Breezy one more time and see if we can get him in the party. Constant Jet trying to get a lap in. Jet finally turned his seasons around a bit. He has earned his first points of the XRL X3 season last week, coming home 7th. This man here, Jelebin, coming to finish his lap. He will be the 10th driver to score a lap in the session. And it'll be a 137.561. So right now, 137 seemed to be good enough to get you into the next round for the moment. For Dave, Ewar, XRL Veloce, and Harry, they're all going to have to find something else to do, or some way to improve so they can actually get in. Veloce in the middle of the lap on the medium still. He's not laying on the ERS, so I have to wonder if maybe he's just trying to save as much of it up for him to go flying. He's the only driver still trying to advance on medium tires. He spun on his last attempt doing so. Plastic Love, he's on the run down to the end of this lap, and ahead of him on circuit is Gusty. Well, Gusty's pulled into the pits, so never mind. They're not going to try anything there, I guess. Constant Jet in the middle of his lap, as is Collie Boy. His teammate Dave Ewar is only 8th on the timesheets right now. It shouldn't be too hard for Collie Boy to beat that time, assuming nothing goes wrong. Ocean Lion, Flavor, both in the pits, and have not yet made an attempt to come out onto the circuit. And Plastic Love has had a spin in Sector 1. But the good news, though, is that it is still a legal lap. He could still record it. The counterpoint, the bad news to that, though, is that it kind of doesn't... Now it's invalidated. As Veloce Still at 158.331. He's going to try and go faster. Ocean Lion in the middle of a faster lap himself right now. We're in the middle of an outlap right now. You see Constant Jet sending it into Sector 3. He'll try and be the 12th driver to set a time in this session. 8.5 minutes left. Still no attempt from Flavor to come out onto the circuit. Into the line for Constant Jet. 138.266. Veloce up 15 seconds. That'd be enough to get him at a time about 143. But I get it looks like he may have had an incident at the end of the... Oh, and Dave Ewar has had an incident. And that's our second DNF of the session. We have no viewpoint on him, sadly. But DNF for Dave Ewart, so he will not advance to the next round. So now for Ocean Lion, Plastic Love, and Flavor, they just need to get some laps in to try and advance. Ocean Lion coming to the line now. Plastic Love invalidated his prior lap. He's going to go for it again. Flavor still in pit lane. Nah, and Plastic Love's invalidated in the last bit of that sector, so this lap as well is invalid for him. So it's going from bad to worse for him. Veloce, meanwhile, in the middle of the lap, he's down a little bit on time at the end of Sector 1. But theoretically, if he can beat a 39.221, he should be good. In theory, at least. Fuel lights flashing on that AlphaTauri Honda. Runs a little bit wide in the exit of that chicane, but he keeps it legal. $194 miles an hour at the end of there. All right, he's already up by 6 seconds. That kind of time would bring him up to a 141. He needs to find more time here in Sector 3. V8 Irons retires in pit lane. Flavor is finally on outlap. Herbago has finally joined the party. He's late to qualifying, but he may have a chance to get a lap in. Watching Veloce, he's trying desperately to advance on medium tires so that he has extra sets of softs that he can use in the race. 137.068, so a great time for Veloce. As Herbago, they're finally coming out of pit lane now. Flavor in the middle of an outlap. Plastic Love, he's got to make this lap count. He's got to make it count for everything. This is going to be his only attempt. The big twitch there in the second to last corner. Right now, the fight is just to beat Dave Ewart's time of 139.221. Harry still in pit lane, and the McLaren has not made an attempt to come back onto the circuit yet. Flavor in the middle of a lap as well. He's back there in Sector 1. So it looks like it's going to be Harry, Plastic Love, Flavor, and Constant Jet fighting to get in, and then Herbago is going to really be the monkey wrench thrown into it all. 18 drivers. We've had 3 people who will not advance to the next round, though. But considering that Breezy had set the fastest time in the session before crashing out, it looks like we may only have 14 drivers advance rather than 15. So we could still see one driver get dropped out. Ooh, Love very nearly runs into the back of Veloce as Veloce is on a cooldown lap. For Plastic Love, he is nearly out of fuel. This is his only attempt, his final attempt to get this lap in. Series of 90-degree corners here. A right followed by 2 lefts. And then you come to the last 2 corners on the track. Oh, and Ocean Lions crashed out in the last corner. And that might be enough to help guarantee Flavor and Herbago a place in, but Ocean Lion has crashed out. Here comes Flavor. He jumps up to 11th. Harry is now on the outside looking, and we're going to try and talk to Ocean Lion real quickly now. Harry still in pit lane, although it looked like they just sent him out. They waited until he was guaranteed out. Now he's going to go for it again. He needs to beat a 138 if he wants to get in right now. Right now, only 12 drivers are positioned to make it into Q2. Herbago and Harry fighting to be 13th and 14th. Nearly everyone at the top of the timesheets has pulled off circuit. So the track's relatively clean. There's not going to be a whole lot of people taking up room. As I say, that Plastic Love is on his cooldown lap there. For Plastic, it's going to be really touch and go, because if Harry or Herbago go faster than him, there is a serious risk that Plastic Love gets squeezed out. All right, here comes Herbago to the last two corners. Across the line in the Mercedes, 138.851. So Harry is still out, Plastic Love is still in, but just barely. The question is, can Harry improve enough on this final lap? His first lap was not a very good or competitive one. He'll need to find a lot of time. This will be his only chance, and Herbago has had a spin on his subsequent lap. The good news, though, the car is still in one piece. Harry, he will have enough time for one lap to try and squeeze himself in and maybe squeeze Plastic Love out. This will be it. Herbago on a cooldown lap. Dives into the chicane. Now onto the first of the two back straightaways for the McLaren. He's laying hard on the ERS and the DRS going down the straight here. Plastic Love has retired in the pit lane. He knows that whatever comes of it, comes of it. At the end of Sector 2 for Harry, he's up by over 25 and a half seconds. Herbago in the pits. Harry, the only driver on track, and the session is just about over in time. Going through the last handful of corners now. Out of the final corner, will Harry get in? Yes, to the top, 136.247. That's the second fastest time we've seen all day. And Harry, saving it all for the last moment, may put himself in a position, no guarantee, but he may put himself in a position where he could upset the rest of the grid. And of course, we're not going to get to see the results from the end of Q1. But a very messy start to Q1 as the fastest driver who set the lap first in the entire session crashed out right away. And now I'm just stuck. There we are. All right, we're out of the black screen at least. 13 drivers. So in the end, though, it would appear that Plastic Love gets squeezed out due to Harry putting in that tremendous lap at the very end. "13 drivers, but only 3 of them have the medium tires, and the medium tires for most of these drivers have not had any comparative pace compared to the soft runners, so this may right away showcase who is or isn't in a good position. Chubby Spark, though, coming second on track. He's running soft tires. He has had a long history of running a qualifying strategy where he sets his first lap on soft tires without utilizing any ERS, and then a second lap pushing it with ERS on the medium tires. It's worked for him more often than not, but last week at Australia, that put him in a hole. Will it work out for him this week? Jigsaw in the Alpine, he is out on the medium tires right now. We're seeing the Aston Martin of V8 Irons also coming out of pit lane. Even if Jigsaw, formerly known as Fiend, even if Jigsaw and Flavor are not in contention to fight for the championship, they are still directly fighting each other for 4th in championship points, as they have opened up a gap on Schumacher SF7, who is taking a break due to mental health reasons, apparently. So So the first man to get a lap in, or will attempt to get a lap in, will be this man here, Chubby Spark. Will he use the ERS? He is not touching the ERS, and he invalidates immediately before he even gets the lap started. He invalidates by going wide, exiting the last corner. So it now goes to Veloce to get a lap in. About half the field's on track right now. 17.3 at the end of Sector 1 for Veloce. El Chubby is now hoofing it to try and get back to the line in time to get a proper lap in, or at least get into the pits. I'm not sure which, but you can see Veloce parks that car right on the curb, so he is not afraid of the curbs. A lot of the drivers this weekend have been talking to me, and they've been saying, hey, look, the curbs, you cannot, like most of the curbs in this game, you cannot put your car on them. If you do, you're going to go around. Veloce does not seem to have any fear or worry about that. 58.383 at the end of Sector 1 for the AlphaTauri. A little bit of a corner cut there, but apparently it's still legal. And he invalidates. So now it goes to Jigsaw. On the medium tires, he'll be the first driver to get a lap in for Q2. 136.448. And Herbago has crashed out. Right coming into pit lane entrance. The car is destroyed. Right at the pit lane entrance. So he makes it into Q2, only to crash out almost immediately afterwards. Caller Boy 140.325 as he basically backed out because of Herbago there. We're going to try and get Herbago into the party real quickly. Veloce aborted after he saw his lap was invalid. He aborted and came into the pits, but Chubby is in the middle of his lap. This is the lap that he does with no ERS on the softer tire compounds. 59.6 at the end of Sector 2. This lap will probably look good, but I don't think it's going to be that good because he's going to be losing so much time in Sector 2 having not engaged DRS. His championship rivals Gusty and Stone Chef are still in pit lane and have not yet made an attempt to come out onto the circuit. Ooh, twitch from Shelby. And he's aborting. So he did not feel that the lap that he was in the middle of was going to be good enough to actually do anything with. So now it goes to... I think Collie Boy's on a cooldown lap. Yeah, he's on a cooldown lap, so it goes to Jalebin. He'll be the third driver to set a time in the session. And it looks like that is Flavor coming out on track. His teammate Veloci is already back out, attacking the circuit once more. Here comes Jalebin to the line in the Haas. It'll be a 137.550. And now here comes the McLarens. Snake coming across to start his flyer. V8 irons in the middle of his lap right now in Sector 3. And he invalidates. And he invalidates with the fuel very low, so he's probably going to jump right into the pit lane. So the focus now goes to Constant Jet. Ooh, big twitch out of the second to last corner. But he kept control of it to the line in the Alpine, 138.205. Veloci in the middle of a lap. Harry, who had to wait until the last minute to get a lap in, a good lap in for Q1, but dominated the entire field in the process, now in the middle of a lap here in Q2. And he's aborting his attempt, so he is not happy with his attempt. There must have been something that went wrong there. So a bunch of aborted attempts means that we're about halfway through this session, and only 4 drivers have set lap times. Veloci in the middle of the lap. Yeah, bruh, Snake is the next person to come across the line. He's still about, like, a good 30 seconds out. About 25 seconds out. Nah, this isn't a good lap either. He's had something go wrong here as well, I think. I don't think it will be a horrible lap, but it's not the one. It's not one that we wouldn't be anticipating from him. Jalebin has improved up to a 37.289. Still nowhere close to Jigsaw at the top on the mediums, though. Snake on the mediums now 136.896. Shelby Spark on an out lap. This is his lap that he does on the medium tires. And he'll use ERS on this lap also. Veloci in the middle of his lap. Flavor also in the middle of a lap right now. So they will be the next 2 to come across. So Veloci trying to be the 6th driver to set a time. Collie Boy is back out on circuit. He wants to improve. He knows that 140 isn't even remotely going to get him into the next round of qualifying. .136.187 for Veloci on the sauce, so he goes to the top right now. And now the focus goes to Chubby Spark and Flavor. Flavor right now going to Sector 3 on the soft tire compounds. This track's been very good to Flavor, and he's also really picked up his pace over the last 2 weeks, beginning to not just kind of hang back and capitalize on strategy and avoiding time penalties. He's now actually in the position where he's starting to fight on track for positions. So it's getting better and better for Flavor, the oldest driver in the entirety of the XRL series in his 60s, and is finding pace amongst the young guns. Out of the final corner for Flavor, 138.573, that's 6th fastest. Now the focus goes to Chubby Spark on the medium tires, pushing hard. Gusty is on an out lap. Stone Shuffle in the middle of a flyer. Irons has just begun his lap as well. Final corner for the Ferrari. 1:36.364 on the mediums. That's the second fastest time we've seen thus far. Focus now goes to Stone Shuffle and Irons. Gusty on an outlap, but has not yet gotten to the line. He's trying to save as much fuel as he can, and is letting other drivers by. One of them being Flavor. With 4.5 minutes left. Two of our championship contenders, another one who's kind of an outside championship threat, and a brand new driver all have yet to set their times. Stone Shuffle will have to try and advance to the next round without the help of his teammate Herbago. Stone Shuffle to the top, 1:36.185. So a great job on his part. Gusty is on the soft tire compounds. Harry is on, I believe he's on softs as well. Yes, and so is Irons. To the line for V8 Irons. He'll clock in the time 1:36.248. So now Gusty goes to the point. .58.6 at the end of Sector 2. Harry is on an outlap, just a little bit behind Gusty on the circuit. So right now it looks like it's between Constant Jet, Flavor, Gusty, and Harry to get into Q2 with 3 minutes left on the clock. For drivers like Constant Jet or Flavor, if they want to defend their position, they may want to consider getting out on track now. Jelebin coming back onto the circuit. To the line for Gusty. 1:36.878, so he's up to 7th. So now it goes to Harry. He waited until the last minute to get a lap in Q1. Is he doing the same in Q2? I think right now everyone who's in the top 6 are probably safe. Honestly, I said probably the top 8 are all safe. I think if you're in the 136s, you're safe. Constant Jet appears to be coming out of pit lane right now. Will merge onto the circuit behind Harry on track. Relatively clean circuit ahead for the McLaren driver. Aborted his first lap after he had an instant. So this is his flyer. Flavor now out on circuit. He also wants to try and defend his attempt to make it into the next round of qualifying. Irons retires in the pit lane now. Glebin's coming across the line to get his lap in. Smooth movement over some of those curves for Harry, although he has a little bit of issue exiting that chicane. Now for this tightening, very technical bit here. Jump hard on the brakes in the 90-degree corner. Real quick short run into another 90, then another 90 right after that. Still legal, he just has 2 more corners left. And he invalidates! He cuts the circuit. And with that in mind, I don't think he's going to get a chance to improve. No, he will. He gets one more lap. He gets one more shot at this. But he's low on ERS, maybe low on fuel as well. Constant Jet has aborted. Jet has come into the pit lane, so he thinks now that with Harry's instant, he's safe. Jelebin is not taking any chances, although he is down on time right now. Flavor coming to the line, trying to improve. So Flavor and Harry trying to knock Constant Jet out of the top 10. And they're trying to squeeze into the pole conversation themselves. Imagine if Harry does not advance into Q3. That would mean that our 2 fastest drivers in Q1 will not have advanced into the pole shootout. Time's up in the session. For Harry, the car is the lightest that it's ever been going to be, but the fuel light is flashing warning signals at him. He cannot afford to invalidate. Excuse me. And he invalidates again, and that's it for Harry. So now it's between Flavor and Constant Jet. Can Flavor squeeze Constant Jet out? Hollywood's also out on track. I'm not really sure why, but he did go out on circuit, trying to improve his laps. Out of the final corner, across the line, it's not, it is, and Flavor advances, he kicks Constant Jet out, he goes up by more than a second in that lap, Flavor is in, Constant Jet is out, and the two fastest people in Q1 will not even advance to the pole shootout. Chaos and calamity reigns here in Abu Dhabi. Hollywood has validated his lap, but it kind of didn't matter, he was already guaranteed in, but what a mess, to say the least. So a lot of very fast drivers do not advance into the final round of qualifying. So we will see some people in the back who have very quick cars trying to struggle their way up through the grid. As we look at the time here, Stone Shuffle fastest, Veloce second fastest, Iron third, Shelby fourth, and he's going to be starting the race on medium tires, so that may work in his favor. Jigsaw fifth, Collie Boy sixth, Gusty seventh, Snake eighth, Glebin ninth, Flavor 10th. Then Constant Jet, he's going to be starting 11th. Harry will be starting 12th, and Herbago will be starting 13th. This is going to be a very interesting race, to say the least. Flavor pulling out a bunch of time at the end there to squeeze in, and Jalebin went out there, and almost every lap he was out on track for, he had some sort of improvement in some way, so good job. But I think for Snake, Jigsaw, and Shelby, they could be in a great position, assuming they don't lose too many positions right off the bat on the medium tires. They should be in a great spot for the rest of the race because they can just throw on softs to go to the race end. All right, time for the final round, the pole shootout, and this will determine the start for the top five, for the first five grids, for the first 5 rows on the grid. Who's going to be the first driver to come out on circuit? I'm seeing movement in the Red Bull team. I'm seeing movement in what looks like it's the Alpine team as well. It looks like Jigsaw is going to try and be the first driver to get out on circuit there. He'll be joined by Gusty, your points leader coming into this event. 3 different championship leaders in the leaving after the last 3 races. And while all that's happening, Jigsaw and V8 Irons have suddenly put their seasons back on track. Another bad run by our top 3, another bad race by our championship contenders, or just the leading 2 championship contenders, and then good runs by Jigsaw and Irons could automatically turn this into a 5-car battle for the championship late in the season. Jigsaw, formerly known as Fiend, trying to recover from a string of about 4 DNFs in a row, one of them after having a commanding 20-second lead out at the high banks of Netherlands circuit. What's the name of the circuit in the Netherlands? Zandvoort. Heading highly at the banks of Zandvoort and crashed one lap before the 90% distance when there were only 7 cars left on track anyway. So Jigsaw turned from what should have been an easy windfall 26 points to none, 25 points to no points, and gave all those points to Chubby Spark in the process. So as it is right now, 7 of our 10 drivers are out on circuit. Jigsaw, one of them. Feels like it's the season that no one wants to win the championship here. Cross the line for Jigsaw. He'll be joined right afterwards by Veloce, and then it will be Chubby Spark. Ooh, Chubby has had an incident. And he's not the only one. Snake has as well. So a potential collision between Chubby Spark and Snake under their initial lap is going to compromise both of them significantly. This is good news for Gusty. Well, maybe not, because Gusty's still behind Chubby and he's going to have to find a way by. Now Gusty's pulling over. So whatever happens includes Gusty as well. He's aborting this lap as well. What a mess. Stone Shuffle now on circuit on an out lap. So focus now goes back to Jigsaw. You'll be the first driver, and almost everyone except for Veloce behind, having an incident, going through turns 3 and 4, aborting their laps, or if not aborting, at least pulling out significantly to try and go for another run. This does not work out for Stone Shuffle, though, because he was banning all these drivers being on cooldown laps, and now he's going to be in the flying lap in the middle of all of them. That's not going to help his time. Jigsaw to the top, 136.013. Veloce joins him. No, he does not. Veloce invalidated his lap. Curiouser and Curiouser. And Irons is invalidated, obviously. As we switch to round board Stone Shuffle, he is running right now behind Jelebin in the Haas. Irons is coming to the pits, as has Chubby Spark, so they both did not have enough fuel to go for another circuit, so that was their only attempt. Jelebin's going to go across the line, but he invalidated, so Jelebin invalidated, and Snake aborts, and I think Gusty's going to come in as well. No, Gusty's staying out by the looks of it. Gusty gets a lap, but it's only a 2:05.8, but apparently they think they have enough fuel, and the Haas has crashed! That's Jelebin! Damage to the Haas as the car twitches coming out of 4. One of the front wing end plates missing. And with that level of damage, although obviously, yes, he can continue to set this lap, he'll be best served to try and get back into the pits as soon as possible. So a bunch of drivers early on try to get laps in, and the only one really able to do so is Jigsaw. Stone Shuffle is going to be the second driver with a competitive lap here. And he was comparatively late coming out onto the track. Jigsaw now coming into the pits. And we've seen Veloce pull back, so he's going to try and go for another flyer here. He's got Collie Boy behind him. Chubby Spark is back on an out lap. There's no one around on him on track this time. Veloce is coming to the pits. Collie Boy in the middle of the lap. Here comes Stone Shuffle out of the final corner right now. What will he be at the line? 136.165. This is the second best time we've seen thus far. So focus now goes to Gusty. He's up by 20 seconds. That in itself won't be enough. He's aborting. Should have probably came in earlier, but he thought he may have been able to make it. But it's not a very competitive time on his end. Jelebin coming in. He is aborting as well. So invalid laps for Many drivers were already halfway through the session. Only 3 drivers have set lap times. Only 2 of them are competitive. Collie Boy in the middle of the lap right now. Farther up the road, Chubby Spark and XRL Snake have relatively clean track around them. This should be good. Collie Boy 58.7 at the end of Sector 2. To the line for Collie Boy. He'll be the 3rd driver to set a time in the session. 1:36.714. So now the focus goes to Snake and Chubby. Right on board with the McLaren here. Stone Shuffle improves on his time. He's now up into the 35s with a 35.695. That's the fastest lap we've seen all day. Finally beating the time that we saw from... I forgot who it was. But that's finally faster than the times we were seeing at the top of Q1. Irons out on a lap right now. Gusty on an out lap. Diving into the 90-degree corner. Now it's a series of 90s here. Chubby Spark a little bit farther up the road, so he'll cross the line here to get a lap in, assuming he didn't invalidate. Nah, Chubby invalidated, and he's come back into the pits. So Snake all by himself, he'll cross 1:36.832. And for Chubby Spark, there's only 3 minutes left in the session. They need to get him back out on track fast if he wants in. Flavor has also still not yet made an attempt to come out onto the circuit. Veloce on another outlap. Glebin on an outlap. Irons in the middle of a lap right now, coming to the line. Looks like this will be a good one. 1:35.769 is good enough for second. Gusty was not able to improve. He's going for it now, though. Only at 2:05, so by far the slowest time of the 6 drivers who have set times. One of his championship rivals, Chubby Spark, has not even set a lap yet. Flavor now finally coming out onto the circuit. Chubby Spark still in pit lane. He needs to come out on track fast if he wants to get a lap in. There we are. Ferrari finally coming down the line. Stone Shuffle staying in pits. He may be feeling very confident with that 35.695 at the top. Yes, he retires in pit lane. Jigsaw now coming back out on circuit. He thinks he can go faster. Gusty having to navigate some traffic, but thankfully it's on the straight, so it's not going to harm him too much. A very chaotic and messy qualifying session. And all 3 sessions, honestly, have been messy and chaotic in their own way. Snake coming back into the pits. So he will not improve, obviously. A minute left in the session. For Chubby Spark, he needs to rush to get to the line, otherwise he's not going to get a chance to set a lap. Alright, out of the final corner, Gusty finally gets a lap in. Only a 37.045. He's still the slowest of everyone who has set times, but at least it's a moderately competitive time. Glebin now comes out of the final corner to the line, 1:36.750. Now the focus goes to the AlphaTauris. Veloce pulling back. Flavor coming to the line. Shelby may have invalidated this lap, but he doesn't care. He's just trying to get to the line as fast as he can to get a lap in. Veloce and Flavor finally in the middle of laps. Time is running out. Will Shelby make it to the line in time to get a lap in? The answer is yes. This is it. For the two AlphaTauris and the Ferrari, this is their last chance to get a lap in. The first driver who will be coming across the line, though, is looking like it will be Gusty. But he is low on fuel, low on ERS. Is he up on time? He is up on time by 2/10. That would be enough to put him in contention to fight with Snake for 6th. V8 Irons retiring in the pits as well. The Red Bull is the lightest it's been all session long, so hopefully you can pick up a few extra bits of time here in the final sector. Out of the final corner now. Gusty crosses the line. 36.5. Great job on his part. Now focus goes to Jalebin. He is up by only 67 hundredths at the end of Sector 2. Does he improve? He does, but does not move up the grid any. So now it goes to Flavor. Flavor making a very rare appearance in Q3, although he's starting to make that more and more common. Coming to the line in the AlphaTauri. 137.894. Now Veloce. Runs wide out of the final quarter. 135.7. Here comes Jigsaw, trying to steal pole position. Big twitch out of the final quarter. That's going to really compromise his time, and he does not go faster. So now it's all down to Chubby and Collyboy out of the final corner for Chubby Spark. And he takes the pole position, 135.576. Here comes Collyboy. He is invalidated. He will not improve, but at the very end, Chubby Spark will steal pole position from Stone Shuffle. That's the way to try and get back into the championship points lead. Pole position for the Ferrari. 2 aborted laps, and in the end, he does not care. He went hard at the very end and got pole. He'll be starting on the medium tires, though, so it's going to be a rough drag race between him and Stone Shuffle. The Stone will be starting on used sauce. A very interesting and messy qualifying session, to say the least. And there we are. Only AlphaTauri getting both of their cars in the final round of qualifying. Real quickly, as we're just in the 5-minute wait until we get into the race itself. Of note, Chubby Spark will be starting on pole position, but will be doing it on medium tires. And then you go down, the 3 drivers behind will be starting on soft. Jigsaw, who will be starting 5th, who will also be starting on mediums. And a little bit farther down, Snake will be starting 9th, also on medium tires. Then you go down 12th, Harry, who set the fastest time at the end of Q1 but could not get out of Q2. He is starting the race on hard tires up in 12, so normally don't see people starting on hard tires unless in the last 2 rows, so Harry really looking to upset things. Herbago and Breezy both starting on mediums, and Breezy set the fastest time overall in Q1, although he crashed out. He's starting on mediums, Lion's starting on softs, and then the 3 drivers in the back on mediums, so tire strategy all over the board, to say the least, getting into this race. Should be getting underway relatively shortly here. All right, should be getting underway shortly here. Real quickly, as you look one more time at the tire choice, Change Plastic Love has swapped over to hards now. But other than that, I don't see any other changes near the back of the grid. So it's going to be very interesting. Ocean Line's going to have a great time. And by great time, I mean frustrating time, because he's going to be on soft tires and trying to fly to the front as fast as possible. The good news, though, is that soft tires are faster than the mediums for almost an entire stint. It was 12 laps in the realistic race yesterday, so I imagine we could see the softs being faster than the mediums for a good 7 or 8 laps here today as well, and that's under normal racing conditions at that, so. Now, with that said, though, fresh softs mogged the crap out of soft tires that have 5-6 laps on them. So fight for fastest lap might go down to whoever pits on the 3rd to last lap and gets a lap in at the very end, because soft tires really have hit their peak very early on, and they have a very high peak, so although they start falling rapidly, they stay above most other tires for a long time. And the guys on hards, they'll have an advantage in track position early on. The counterpoint to that, though, is that while they'll have the advantage in track position, eventually they will have to get off the hard tires. All right, now we get underway. 2 of our championship rivals, Stone Shuffle and Chubby Spark, starting on the front row. Medium tires versus soft tires. Who's it going to be? We've seen this scenario before at Brazil, and the medium tires could not hold grip out of turn 1, and it caused a multi-car incident at the start. Can we avoid it here? 4 lights, 5 lights. That's lights out. Away we go here at Yas Marina, and a bad start by nearly the entire front row, but it looks like Chubby will take position. Jigsaw goes around the outside of Stone Shuffle. Veloce wants to try and capitalize. Now Jigsaw has a mistake, and is going to let Veloce back through in the next few corners. Farther back, though, There's been chaos. Flavor falls all the way to 13th, and Constant Jet has had a spin coming out of the first few corners. Oh God, it's a mess all over the circuit. Plastic gloves around the back. Harry is already up into 10th, but looks like for the most part we are staying green. Harry in the hard tire compound already up to 10th position. Stone Shuffle holding on to second. He's going to be faster than Chubby Spark, though, for these next several laps. And when DRS does kick in, he'll have that advantage as well. Flavor now loses the position and exits the spot. And Plastic Glove gets by Collie Boy. But it doesn't look like anyone on track has any serious wing damage. Breezy now fighting with Flavor for 12th. Bit of contact. Ooh, that was a big amount of contact. Flavor way off circuit to try and save the car. And what was a 10th place starting spot has already dropped him out of the points. One of his biggest weaknesses have been on starts and restarts. Harry losing a position now to exit the spot. The medium tires having more grip than the hards, working out in their favor. Oh, and Jill Evans crashed out. Right in pit lane entrance, and that's a VSC. And your first DNF of the day is Gilebin. Virtual safety car. And several drivers, Harry, Constant Jet, Collie Boy, all pitting under this safety car to get different tires on. They're replacing the front wing in Constant Jet's pit. All right, and coming into the party now is Gilebin. Gilebin, go ahead and clear your audio. You had a good run in qualifying, but crashed out on the first lap. What happened?
Honestly, I have no idea. I know I was pushing. I might have been pushing a little too hard. I got a really good start. Jumped quite a few positions up out of turn one, and I was trying to keep pace with the irons and just coming out of that second to last corner. I think I took too much of the curb on the outside. When I got in the throttle, the car just went to the inside. Hit the wall. End of the day, second week in a row. X3 ended on lap one. It's nice.
All right, absolutely nasty hit. Do you think you'll be able to recover next week?
I'm hoping so. With China next week, I'm not too bad at China. I got some pretty good pace there, so hopefully we can, get back on the good foot and move forward after, two unfortunate races.
It's a shame this turned out this way, but thanks for being willing to jump in and talk with us about it.
Hey, man, thank you.
All right, we turn our focus back now to the fight for 5th. V8 Irons holding off of Gusty, and he's actually pulling on Jigsaw right now. DRS has been turned back on. Stone Shuffle wants to get within a second of Chubby Spark so he can start using DRS to hound his championship rival. All three of your main championship contenders in points main position in the top 6 right now, and Chubby's around right in the middle of the field, and Stone Shuffle hits him, and Stone Shuffle, your second in points hits your third in points driver. Chubby Spark will be able to continue, but he has a time penalty for that collision. The car stepped out all on its own. Stone Shuffle, one of your main championship contenders has a crash, and in the blink of an eye, 2 of your championship favorites are out. Chubby's able to continue by the looks of it. The damage to that car seems to be minimal, but it's a full course safety car. And Stone Shuffle not able to avoid his championship rival. And Gusty now is back in a good position. Full course safety car. What a mess. What a mess. And Gusty, your points leader coming into today's race, is now up in 3rd. Trying to get Stone Shuffle in here real quickly. But we were riding on board with Stone Shuffle, and we saw that Ferrari the rear end stepped out and the car went off circuit, and it looked like Stone Shuffle initially thought that the Ferrari was going to grip up and shoot to the inside, And that's not what happened at all. It just kept spinning out, and Stone Shuffle could not avoid it, and the entire front end ripped the front wing, everything ripped. All right, coming in the party now is Stone Shuffle. Stone Shuffle, 1 second, let me make sure my audio's still included. All right, coming in the party now is Stone Shuffle. Shuffle, we were riding on board with you when that happened. What happened from your perspective? I'm curious to hear from your own words.
So, exactly the same has happened to me in another league race. So, going into the fast left right-hand section, a driver in front loses the rear end because they're pushing the tyres in their car too hard on heavy fuel load, and there's nowhere to go. There is nowhere to go. So straight into Chubby Spark, like nowhere to go. Is he still in the race?
Yes, he took no damage in the impact.
Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Like, do you know?
Well,
like. He was really struggling with pace, and I could tell he was really struggling. He was struggling in the traction zones as well, and it was just a case of waiting to line up a move, and I would have been home and clear. And yeah, I'm peeved to say the least.
All right, it was a massive incident. Just to make some bad news even worse, Gussie, the points leader coming into this race, he's still in the points. Chubby did pit though to get off those tires, so there is that. But now, with this incident, we may see the championship fight go from being a 3-man fight to a 5-man fight because V8 Irons and XRL Jigsaw have now turned their races around. They're now in great positions. Obviously, I would say you've been the favorite in the championship fight for the last few weeks, but now with this, do you think you can hold off 4 separate drivers going to the end for the championship fight?
Well, to be fair, there's not that many tracks now that I really fancy my chances at. Like, I know I'm quick here at Abu Dhabi, and I was really relying a great deal on race pace for this race because I knew I'd be really strong on it. I was going to do the one stop, and I guarantee it would have been a top 2, I reckon, maybe even the win. But looking at some of the races coming up, I mean, I think Jeddah I'll do well at, but I think China I'm going to struggle at, and some of the others as well. So we'll see. But like you say, there's loads of good drivers here. I think for me, probably the form driver at the minute is Irons. I think he's probably the one looking strongest.
All right, well, it's a shame to see you out. I do want to say thanks for being willing to jump in and talk with us. It was, without a doubt, one of the most frustrating things we've seen. And again, I do want to say this. You've had a fantastic record this season. This has only been, like, I think the 3rd or 4th race this entire season that you will not finish in the points. So
yeah,
you've had an absolutely fantastic season regardless. All I can say is don't let this get you down. You can find that pace again, I'm sure, going into the final stretch.
Yeah, thanks for that. And I'll see you at the next one.
All right, so major championship implications here on lap 3 at Abu Dhabi. And now everything has changed. V8 Irons is the driver now that Stone Shuffle is pointing out that he has concern about, and Irons is hanging out there in 7th. He pitted under the safety car to put on brand new medium tires, and that's the interesting thing. No one is on softs now. Everyone has mediums or hard tires on their car, and Plastic Love, interestingly enough, he's on the same set of hards he started the race in. He is now filtered up into the 6th position, and at the front, it's now Jigsaw, who is rebounding his season out of nowhere, and he's starting to put himself in a championship fight. If something happens to Plastic Love today, we could see the championship fight get blown open to a 5-man fight. Mathematically, it's a 5-man fight, but realistically, we've not really considered that until coming into this week. All right, so Jigsaw has the control of the field, and he can back everyone up as his pleasure and at his leisure. How does he back the field up? All right, he keeps the field right behind him. Everyone right on top of each other, going through the final corner. Coming out, Jigsaw puts the power down and opens up about a half-second gap on Snake. Snake did not get a good exit. He's under threat from exit spot now in the Williams. Come out of the first corner, big twist by Plastic Glove there. That lets Irons get a chance to get by. Irons has to back out now. Now Gusty's looking for a position. Plastic Glove holding up Irons and his teammate Gusty as they dive into the first chicane. Irons gets alongside Plastic Glove. There's contact. They're side by side still. Gusty trying to find a way by. Irons finally by his teammate. Now Gusty wants to try and get by. This is a mess here. W Spark trying to recover from the accident, but he got lucky, no damage. He's now on fresh medium tires, trying to see if he can get by either Collie Boy or Ocean Line. He will get by Collie Boy. Neck and neck going into the braking zone. Plastic Glove now gained by Herbago, and Harry is now falling down the order a bit as Harry is taking off the Harry took off the hard tires. He started on staining them for mediums. Farther up, Breezy, Irons, teammates fighting for position for fifth. And Gusty is there. Gusty, I don't know if he is thinking of Irons as a championship rival, but he might want to start doing that now. Breezy really throwing a wrench into Gusty's plans to try and get by. No, Breezy had some of the fastest time, and Breezy nearly runs Gusty into the wall there. Breezy now coming into the pit lane, so some sort of damage or maybe a cut tire that's going to drop him down significantly. Irons now looking at Dave Ewart trying to get by the Alfa Romeo. He looks to the outside. He's pushing hard. Oh, geez. The Alfa Romeo gets off circuit, but he will hold the position for the moment. W Spark now there behind Harry, who's behind Plastic Glove. With W Spark back into the points-paying positions. Got draft off of two cars going down the straight. Contact, Harry moves over and just runs right into the side of Plastic Glove down the straightaway. And now W Spark pulls alongside the McLaren, but he's not going to push too hard. He wants these two. Oh, Plastic Glove gets back into the McLaren, and they're both sideways. They both go off, and W will take both positions. He moves up into 8th now. Harry will try and come back down the straightaway, but there's no DRS yet, so it's only just pure drafting ability. The McLaren looks to the inside, but he's also trying to block off the Red Bull, and that's going to harm both of them significantly. Now Ocean Line has to back off. He loses positions to Veloce, Collie Boy, and Flavor in the process, and Constant Jet. Bad run for Ocean Line, getting held up by a fight that was going on farther up the grid, and now W Spark puts his focus on the other Mercedes of Herbago. Farther up the order, Gusty now sets his sights on Dave Ewart. Dave is on worn medium tires. Gusty has the advantage, or will have the advantage of DRS when they come back to the back straightaways, but he might try to get by him before then. Oh, and Plastic Glove's crashed out. And that's right in the pit lane entry, and another full course safety car. Plastic Glove knocked out the last minute of Q1. Now he's not even going to be able to complete 10 laps here in this session, and he crashes right at the pit lane entrance. Frustration. So now only 15 cars left for Jigsaw. Frustration because he had a 5-second gap over XRL Snake. All right, and coming into the party right now is Plastic Glove. Plastic, go ahead and include your audio. It's been a rough day, to say the least, for you, and it ends extremely early. What happened out there?
Just after the restart, my hard just wouldn't warm up, and the rears were just awfully cold. Coming around that corner, I could not throttle it, so I just lost it.
All right, well, it's a shame to see that happen. Your teammate Gusty, though, is still in the championship hunt, still on track. So I do have to ask, in the closing race of the season, will there be team orders between you and Gusty to try and help him get the championship fight, or is it still every driver does the best that they can?
Oh no, of course I'm gonna help Gussie the most I can. You know, I mean, even after the restart when he was behind me, I just let him straight through. I wasn't even gonna try and fight it. You know, so.
All right. Well, I do want to say thanks for enlightening us on that. We'll probably ask other drivers further on going forward on that. And also, thanks for being willing to jump in. It had to be very frustrating to drop out this early in the event.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, so Jigsaw and Dave Ewart pitting out of the front. Shelby Spark pitting as well. He's going to pit. He was in 8th position when he elected to pit. Harry is also elected to pit. So Ocean Lion pitting as well. So this will continue to shake up the order a bit. But at the front, it's now going to be Snake and exits the spot. Snake experiencing not a full-on revitalization, but a little bit of a return to form back to when he was fighting for a championship in X3 about two seasons ago. But this has gotten interesting because now Shelby Spark, they've thrown on hard tires in the Ferrari camp. The hards have not had any luck keeping heat in them, so a very interesting choice. Dave Ewart has soft, so he's obviously going to be pitting again. Harry puts on another set of mediums. Breezy has softs, and then Ocean Lion also has a set of mediums on. Also, Jigsaw, he had a big enough gap that when he came back out, he was only 8th. So he's going to have fresher tires than everyone ahead of him, but he's still on mediums. This is going to be really weird. We're likely not going to see the green flag, though, I think, until about lap 11. Bizarre race, to say the least. Veloce, though, at one point we saw the 2 AlphaTauris back there in the last 2 positions. Now, Veloce is in 6th and Flavor is in 9th. Chubby Spark now back out of the points-paying positions. Although with the hard tires, he will have one advantage, assuming he can maintain heat in them. He won't have any instance while running the hards. Track position will go in his favor as the race goes on. Because everyone ahead of him will have to pit. He does not have to pit again for the rest of the race if he so chooses. It'd be a bold strategy, but it could be a valid one. So yeah, we're not going to go green until about lap 11 by the looks of it, because we're still cycling under the safety car. Also of note, Shelby, with all these extra pit stops, he has gotten rid of the 5-second penalty that he was penalized for the spin that he had that collected Stone Shuffle. But all of your championship contenders except Shelby in the points right now. Gusty hanging out in 4th. This is exactly the same kind of race he had at Australia. And we've seen more often than not in these X3 races, 1 or 2 championship contenders up front, and then one struggles in the points all day, and then inevitable mid-race yellow flags come out, turn everything on its head, and the guy who was up front suddenly finds himself in the back. It did not happen quite that way in Australia. Gusty was up front all day and walked home to a good top 5 finish. It looks like he's betting on the same thing happening again today. But for Gusty, he may need to start considering Irons as a championship threat, and Irons is right in front of him on the racetrack. And if Irons puts himself in a championship contention, that would be absolutely incredible, because Irons was really not even attending the first about quarter of the season whatsoever, and he's had several races where the entire results have been stricken or reduced due to incidents on track. So, yeah, Irons making this crazy late season charge. Yes, it says a lot about him, but it also says a lot about how many points our 3 championship contenders have left on the table. It's quite literally been the season that no one wants to win the championship, for all intents and purposes. I kind of get flashbacks to the 2002 NASCAR Cup Series Championship. All right, there's the word. Safety car will officially come in this lap. Ocean Lion made the odd choice to start on soft tires going forward. So, and he's going to be 15th. So he'll be faster than most of the people ahead of him. Dave Ewart also, he's going to be restarting 11th on fresh soft, so he's going to be flying up to the grid. Chubby's a really interesting one because he's going to be on hard tires. And good luck. I don't know if you're going to be able to keep heat in them. We heard Plastic Glove saying that keeping heat in the tires has been a problem, so this could get very interesting. All right, at the front, Snake now has exits the spot behind him. They're on tires that they started the race with. How does Snake back up the field coming to the green flag? Power down. And we're underway. And Snake did not have the great restart he wanted. X is still right there behind him, and V8 Irons is ready to capitalize. Farther back, Herbago on the hard tires cannot do anything to Veloce. Calling Boy around the outside is Jigsaw, but he steps a little bit out in 3 and 4. That goes in Jigsaw's favor now. Jigsaw powers back by. Jigsaw has the advantage of fresher medium tires going forward. Dave Ewart already trying to put focus on Constant Jet, but Shelby Spark has gotten to his inside, so not a great start for Dave. Now Shelby has a run down the straightaway. He has just a little bit of draft off of the Alpine and Constant Jet ahead. As Breezy, also on softs, is now trying to make something happen on Dave Ewart. Side by side, and they go into the braking zone. And Dave on the new soft tires is just not really going forward right now. Jigsaw now gets by Herbago. Dave falls behind Harry now. There is wing damage on Dave's car. That's the reason why he's struggling. There is wing damage on Dave's car. As Shelby Spark now gets by Constant Jet, so Shelby now back into the points playing position. Herbago tried to get by Jigsaw in the braking zone, could not make it stick, and now he has to deal with Collie Boy. A little bit of contact farther up there between Herbago and now we see that Collie Boy backs out. That lets Flavor and Shelby come into it. Collie Boy, big twitch there. And now Shelby has a run, and Snake has lost the position to exit the spot. So X exits the spot much more happier with his car than Snake is with his, it would appear. So a lead change on a section of the track you don't normally see it happen at. Gusty in 4th, Irons in 3rd. Irons looking to the outside of Snake, trying to find a way by. Can't make it happen. Collie Boy has had an instant. He has had an instant coming out of the first corner, and the entire front wing ripped off the car. So for the Alfa Romeo team, it goes from bad to worse. Irons now behind Snake. Drag race down the straightaway. Gusty looking to close on Snake now. He dives to the inside under braking. He's there. A little bit of contact. Was there wing damage? No wing damage, but now it's opened up the chance for Veloce and Jigsaw to get a run. No DRS this lap. It's all draft, but Veloce had a good run coming out of the straight. Veloce around the outside, and he will get by Gusty, and he'll be followed right afterwards by Jigsaw. Shelby Spark fighting with Flavor for position. And Flavor muscles Shelby Spark out. He is running a very defensive race. He knows he's having a great run, and he wants to capitalize on it. And now that's leaving him open to attack from Breezy. Breezy on soft tires while Shelby is on hards. Trying to close back in on Flavor now. Flavor right there behind Herbago trying to make something happen there. DRS is kicking back in, so this will work out well. And Breezy's pitting, so Breezy may have taken damage right into the back of Shelby Spark. But this will work well in Flavor's favor and in Flavor's favor because he will have DRS on Herbago going down the straight. Farther up the grid, Jigsaw right there behind Veloce. Veloce trying to hold on to Snake so he can use DRS as a defense. Shelby Spark now right there behind Flavor, so both these drivers will have DRS on Herbago going down the straight. Jigsaw closing on Veloce. Veloce closing on Snake, but it's not fast enough to make anything happen. Down the straight for this trio now. Herbago breaks the draft. Flavor is going to try and power by on the outside using DRS. Shelby is faster than both of them, but I think he might back out of it because he does not want to run the risk of damaging the car. Flavor, easy overtake on Herbago. Now Herbago will get the counterpoint on Flavor. Veloce over Snake there for 3rd. Shelby now to the inside of Herbago, but Herbago has draft on Flavor. They're both faster than the AlphaTauri down the straight, but Flavor had enough of a gap that he has made that position up and will hold it for a bit longer. Snake now behind Veloce, and he has to deal with Jigsaw. Jigsaw on fresher medium tires. He is flying through the grid right now. Chubby gets by Herbago there in the more technical sections. So the hard tires, Herbago is struggling with them way more than Chubby is struggling with his. And Chubby is doing a good job on his hards. He's been making lots of positions up with them. This strategy, as strange as it seems, could work out in his favor. Jigsaw right there behind Snake. Snake has 13-lap medium tires. He's trying desperately to hold on to them. Snake's not able to keep pace with Veloce ahead. Jigsaw wants to get by the McLaren, but he's not quite strong enough to make the pass anywhere without DRS. It says Sector 3. That's breezy. And that is a full course safety car. And for Irons, that's a frustration, because he had just gotten to the point where he could have gotten DRS to fight with exits the spot. And how does this change the races play out? Well, Dave will go ahead and pit under this to put on another set of medium tires, but it seems like no one else is going to be able to capitalize right away. The good news for Chubby, though, he is now in 8th, and he is on hard tires that should be able to last to the end of the race. So, assuming drivers ahead start pitting, he'll get very valuable track position. Gusty is in 6th. He'll have to pit. That's the thing, everyone from 7th up will have to pit at least one more time going to the end of this race here. Exits the spot, leads. Irons is 2nd. I imagine X will pit. I imagine Snake will probably pit also, but will Irons stay out? No, Irons is pitting as well. Here comes Veloce. Veloce comes into the pits now. Snake, he's going to pit. Jigsaw, no, Snake stays out. Jigsaw stays out as well. Gusty will pit. Flavor is going to come into the pits, as will Chubby Spark. So Chubby is going to use this to get onto a different set of tires. So Chubby has pitted under every single safety car and is maximizing the tires. This time, though, he'll be in a good position because almost everyone is pitting. So he's really not losing any positions on track. They're throwing on a set of fresh mediums for him. Not fresh, I'm sorry. No, those are scuffed mediums. So he already has laps on this set of tires. So he's actually going to be on some of the worst tires in the entire on the entire track. A very bizarre decision, to say the least. But he did not feel comfortable with trying to keep running on the hards, even though he would have had track position. So they have elected instead to go to mediums. But this still will be faster tires than what he had on the hards. These mediums have not fallen off yet, for sure. The question, though, is that would this set of medium tires be able to go another 13 laps? Will mediums last 18 laps or not? That will be the question. And then, obviously, X is there in 3rd and Veloce is in 5th. I don't know if the soft tires will be able to last 13 laps to the end, but these two are massively fast on the restart. Irons may have just lucked strategized into a win, because his fresh mediums, they should be able to last him to the end of the race without issue. For Snake and Jigsaw, Jigsaw obviously could probably go for a while, but Snake is going to have to pit sooner rather than later. This has not worked out well for him, unless he's betting on another late race safety car and him being able to jump in and throw on a set of softs. He has been struggling massively on the set of tires. I don't see him maintaining position, honestly. Gusty also could have backed into a potential podium finish as well. He is 6th on medium tires and might be able to pull this out, because a lot of the drivers around him, they may be faster but will likely have to pit again, or they're on way worse tires, and in Snake's case, guaranteed have to pit again. Snake is now deciding to pit, so he waited a very long time to make the stop, so Snake is going to fall from 1st, possibly out of the top 10. A very strange decision, to say the least. But they're going to throw on soft tires. Maybe he's thinking that the one extra lap will help him out, and maybe he can thresh the soft tires for his full 12, 13 laps. It's a bold strategy. Dave Ewart coming back into pits under the safety car. Was there wing damage that he took while circling the circuit, maybe? No wing damage, but they're putting on another set of softs. So 12, 13, 14 all have soft tires now. So now, of your championship contenders, Jigsaw and Irons, who outside contenders, but are starting to turn that around. They're now first and third. Gusty, your points leader coming in today, is now fifth. And now Shelby is seventh. So, yeah. And then Stone Shuffle, obviously, with that DNF, it's looking more and more like this is going to be a massive negative knock to his championship hopes. Not saying he can't overcome it, but it's not going to help him, to say the least. But we have seen Shelby Sparks choke away top 5 finishes before in the last laps of races plenty of times. There's no guarantee that just because Shelby is running on track now that he's going to be able to run to the end. And with Gusty, we've seen numerous times that he's had great strategy, run near the front all day long, and has either been screwed over by late race yellows or instance and has fallen out of the points. There's no guarantee. Same thing with Irons and Jigsaw. Irons has had many penalties assessed to him across the course of the season and has lost a lot of places on track post-race because of that. And at the same time, Jigsaw, and I want to make this very clear, Jigsaw has gone through many races where he's been dominant and has crashed out and not picked up any points. So just because the championship contenders are in position where they are now, there's no guarantee they're going to be there at the end. But Jigsaw, formerly known as Fiend, will be leading the field to the green flag. It is Alpine, Williams, Austin Martin, and then a AlphaTauri in the top 4. How will Jigsaw bunch up the field coming to the green flag? Pace car coming in. Out of the final corner. Ooh, Irons, not good. But exits the spot, had a good run on Jigsaw. And X has soft tires, Jigsaw has worn medium. So in the short term, at least, this battle will go in X's favor. Veloce putting pressure on Irons. He's trying to get by him. He's looking all over for a place to go. It looks like he might send it to the inside. He backs out of it at the last minute, though. But he definitely has speed and pace. Farther back. Oh, X already by Jigsaw. He muscled by him in the hairpin. Drag race down the straightaway now. And X pulls ahead of Jigsaw. Jigsaw, though, will have draft and might be able to get back by him going into braking. He's not even going to wait until braking. He's already going to pull alongside of him before they get to the braking zone. Under braking, the Alpine has a nose ahead. Contact. Veloce gets by Irons as well now. So the soft tires proven to have superiority. Now Gusty gets by Irons. Jigsaw fighting with X. He's gonna get the nose ahead of the car, but not enough. Under braking, X still in front. Irons now behind Gusty as Veloce is putting his pressure on Jigsaw now. You can see how dominant the soft tires are compared to mediums. Irons now putting pressure on Gusty once more for 4th position. They're on same level of age when it comes to their tires. Farther back, Chubby still caught behind Flavor. He tried to get by him earlier before the prior safety car could not. Flavor had to put up a very aggressive defense. So now Chubby needs to find the different way by Flavor. But this circuit has suited Flavor very well. He has been doing a great job keeping pace this week in Dev, Realistic, and now X3. This is not going to be the easy overtakes on Flavor that we've seen most of the season. Farther up the grid, Veloce right there behind Jigsaw. He looks to the outside of the Alpine, going through the braking zone, and will overtake him in the chicane. So Jigsaw getting completely mogged. Now Jigsaw is fighting back. He's got a better run down the straight. The counterpoint, though, is that Veloce will have more that he can abuse his tires with under braking. Ooh, and it looks like Veloce is by. Oh, but there's an instant. And Shelby Spark has a time penalty farther back. Jigsaw's got a time penalty. Now Gusty needs to find a way by the Alpine. JB Wart gets by Collie Boy as Collie has had an instant there at the back of the grid. He is back underway already, though. X has already opened up a 3-second gap on Veloce. It's chaos here, though, for 3rd through 5th. Jigsaw trying to keep pace with Veloce right now, but it's not working out in his favor at the moment. Farther back, Shelby again behind Flavor, not able to do anything. This is working well for Gusty. He might be able to sneak another podium here. Irons is still there, putting pressure on. Oh, and Dave Ewart's now had an instant and has ripped off the entire front wing. Bad to worse for the Alfa Romeo team, and Ocean Lion has had an instant there, fighting with Herbago for 8th. W Spark closing on Flavor down the straightaway. Gusty gets by Jigsaw finally for 3rd position. Shelby will take that position over Flavor. Now, Gusty, oh, big twist, big spin, very nearly loses it, putting the power down. Jigsaw has a chance to fight back using DRS, but it's Irons who's faster than both of them, and Irons blitzes both of them with DRS now. Jigsaw goes around the outside. Gusty trying to fight back under braking, can't make it stick. Oh, but now Jigsaw has a bad time clambering over the curbs. Oh, contact between the two of them. They're still side by side, but Jigsaw pulls out. So the more medium tires are not helping Jigsaw out at all. He may be in a position where he will have to pit before the end of the race. The tires are just not holding up. A yellow flag will be very much appreciated for Jigsaw and likely for Chubby Spark as well, because they will want to get new tires on their cars. Irons in 3rd, running behind Veloce and exits the spot. But he's 2 seconds out and has time penalties against them. Gusty is hanging out in 4th with no time penalties right now, but not able to keep pace with Irons at the moment. Herbago is now caught Flavor for 6th and is trying to put pressure on him. Shelby Spark has fallen to 8th because Flavor's defense has been exceptional today. Ooh, Flavor, bad run. Coming out of the hairpin, Herbago and Shelby both will get DRS on him down the straight. The thing is, Flavor maximized his exit, so he's going to try and negate the DRS advantage as much as he can. Doesn't matter to Herbago, it'll be an easy DRS overtake. Constant Jets just crashed out back there as Flavor, Shelby Spark both get by. But Flavor is not going to let Shelby Spark hold the position. A full course safety car is out as Constant Jet, a crash will take him out of the event. Good news for several drivers, though. They'll want to get onto this different tire. So for Jigsaw and Shelby Spark, this is great news for them. They can get off their worn tires. All right, coming to the party now is Constant Jet. Jet, go ahead, include your audio. Accent coming out of 3 and 4, what happened?
I just tried to pull the power down a bit really. All that situation, but the only way I could have done something.
Alright, well, it's a shame to see this happen to you. Do you think you can bounce back and get points again at China, though?
Yeah. I was good track to me, so hopefully.
Alright, well, like I said, it's a shame to see you out like this.
Yeah.
Hopefully things get back to the way they were in Australia for you, but you had a good run by the looks of it.
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as we can.
Alright, so on... Yep. Okay, well, so on circuit, a bunch of drivers pitted, but 3 have not. So the 3 who have not pitted, Herbago, XRL Flavor, and Snake, all thinking that track position is king. Flavor now fighting for what will be his first win in any XRL division. Herbago trying to recover from a crash in qualifying and his teammate having a DNF. He's trying to now pull the Mercedes weight when it comes to the Manufacturers Championship. And Snake hanging out in third. He is on worn soft tires. He's going to be faster for a moment than these two. But will Snake's tires still have pace by the end of this stint? Because behind you have Exit Spot and Veloce, who have forced their way to the lead. Irons is there in 6. Gusty, Jigsaw, Shelby Spark, Ocean Lion, Perry, everyone outside of the top 3 is on relatively fresh or brand new spanking fresh tires. This is going to get weird, to say the least. Likely not going to see the green flag until about lap 23. So with that in mind, it will be a 6-lap shootout. 6-lap shootout to the end of the race. So now Herbago has Flavor behind him, and Herbago can choose to bunch up the field as much as he wants. For Flavor, his biggest weakness as of late has been starts and restarts. He typically seems to hemorrhage spots on race starts and race restarts. But he is in a position where he can fight for his first win. He needs to nail it and keep pace with Herbago. The top 2 thinking that track position is keen. Snake is going to be on soft tires. They're worn softs, but he will be faster than the 2 cars ahead. And then everyone from 4th on back in an interesting position. And when it comes to championship fight, Gusty is 7th. Chubby is now 9th. Irons and Jigsaw are 6th and 8th. So 4 championship contenders of the 5 that we have, all on top of each other in the points, but in the mid to back of the points paying positions. Now obviously, depending on how it goes in the top 3, that could change, but this could get very interesting very quick, to say the least. Dave Ewart looks like he's finally going to catch the back of the field going down the straight here. So Herbago trying to take home another win for the Mercedes camp. His teammate Stone Shovel has only won a single race this season. His strength has just been in bringing home points consistently every race. So today, really a abnormal scenario, to say the least, for him. Safety car officially coming in this lap. So we'll be going green with 6 laps to go. How does Herbago bunch up the field? Does Flavor match him? Does Flavor not match him? If Flavor has a really bad start, it will give Snake a great chance to try and make a bonsai move on the AlphaTauri to chase down the Mercedes early on. Oh, Ocean Lion just gets a penalty for a collision with Chubby Spark. And now Chubby Spark has another 5-second penalty against him. Now that might get removed post-race, but Ocean Lion, a collision with Chubby Spark, and penalties for both of them. It looks like that's going to eat away and possibly, not destroy, but harm Chubby's chance at his championship here. So once again, Gusty now in 7th, maybe in a good position. In his championship, he was leading the points coming into this race, and now he's leading all the championship contenders at the moment. Coming in the green flag, Herbago, Flavor, how does the Mercedes get a run coming out of the final quarter? He already has opened up a 9-10 second gap coming out of the second to last quarter. Flavor not even close to keeping pace. But Snake did not have a good launch either. Thing is, no one's really had a good launch. X fighting with Veloce for position right now. They're side by side going through 3 and 4, and it looks like Veloce will have to back out of it to try and get a crossover move. The Williams skids off track for a brief moment. And Irons got by Gusty right away on that restart. Ooh, Gusty into Irons. Is there wing damage on Gusty's car? No wing damage, he's still in it. Jigsaw behind the Red Bull, trying to find a way by. Now Snake right there behind Flavor. Herbago trying to open up the biggest gap he can. Flavor runs a defensive outside line. Snake doesn't care. He's faster in a straight line. He's going to go to the inside and try to muscle his way by. For X's spot, this could work well. Flavor totally out-circuit. He hemorrhages down the order, down to 6th position. Might even fall worse than that. And this has consistently been Flavor's biggest issue. He is no good on starts and restarts. Flavor trapped on the outside of the AlphaTauri and cannot seem to get by. Contact! And your points leader is around! And out of the points now! And that is good for Chubby. This brings him up into 8th. Jigsaw now up into 7th. He runs in the back of Flavor, and Flavor's around! And Flavor is out! He's crashed out! A massive accident there at the entrance of pit lane, and that's a full course safety car, and Flavor out of the race! And the turntables once again. Now only 12 cars left. For Gusty, the good news is the spin, he was able to avoid taking damage and will be able to continue. Jigsaw and Veloce both pitting, and Jigsaw, championship contender with damage. Coming in the party now is Flavor. Flavor, go ahead and include your audio. You are up there in 2nd, but a bad restart has a domino effect, and you crashed before completing a lap. Walk us through what happened from your perspective. I know that I've seen that kind of glitch before in other racing games, primarily the Forza series, so yeah, that's one of the most annoying things. Well, I will say, it's a shame. I will say this, Flavor, you have put down some great runs this weekend. It looks like at this point, at least for this track, this circuit seems to suit you very well, a very start-stoppy track. The only thing is, you just gotta turn around and start, you know, getting elbows out on restarts now. Seems like the best thing to do, because you were honestly fighting for what may have been a podium position. So. All right. Alright, well, shame to see you out like that. Hopefully things turn around for you next week at China. Alright, that's the word from XRL Flavor. Rough ending to the day for him. So the entire field's just about caught up. Jigsaw rushing to the back of the grid. So now Shelby is in 4th. Counterpoint to that, though, is that he has 8 seconds worth of time penalties. He might be able to get 5 seconds of that removed post-race because of the incident between him and Lion may not actually stick. But if those 8 seconds do stick, he needs to fight hard to make up as many positions as he can, because he is trying to outrun time penalties. When they come to the green flag, it will be 3 laps to go. Herbago had a great restart last time, but he is on worn medium tires, and now Veloce has a collision for penalties for a collision with irons. And this one did happen because you can see damage on Veloce's car. So Herbago, how does he bunch up the field? Because the drivers behind him have faster, fresher tires. two McLarens running third and fifth, so this could be a great day for McLarens in the Drivers' Championship. Herbago puts the power down in the second to last corner. He opens up a half-second gap on her X, but X is adapted real quickly to respond. He's running him down on the straightaway now, but won't quite be in defensive mode. Shelby trying to defend, and Veloce's crashed out, coming into the pit lane. Shelby in the middle of a McLaren fest right now, trying to find a way by both, trying to defend against Harry and find a way by Snake on fresher soft tires at the front. X is right there by Herbago. There's only going to be one lap of DRS, and that will be the final lap. Gusty gets by Jigsaw. Jigsaw fights back though. Neck and neck. It looks like Jigsaw has the position over Gusty for the moment. Irons is in 11th. These three, two of them possible championship contenders, one of their points there, trying to just fight for scraps. Shelby gets by Snake in the braking zone now. At the end of the first straight, Snake has to back out and lets Harry by. So now Shelby now trying to see if he can run down to the leaders. X right there behind Herbago. Herbago has the track position, but DRS is likely to cut in at the last lap. That could upset how this race goes. Shelby is trying to run them down as well. He is desperately trying to outrun time penalties. Gusty gets a time penalty back there in 10th now. X right there behind Herbago, putting as much pressure on him as he can to try and get by. Only 11 cars left on track, and the man who's not in points main position is the man who was leading the points coming into this race. Coming across, it will be 2 laps to go. Herbago holds a roughly quarter-second lead over X hits the spot. Shelby Spark has closed in on both of them. He will have DRS if that kicks in on the last lap, which we are still anticipating that it will. X falls off from Herbago just a little bit. Alfa Romeo boys have recovered to 6 and 7 despite having numerous bad runs. Here comes X. He makes a dive on Herbago going into the hairpin. Neck and neck. Williams versus Mercedes down the straight. Shelby has a great view of this going down. X trying to get by Herbago. Herbago wants to break the trap. He defends the inside. X going to the outside. He has fresher soft tires. He'll be able to do a lot more under braking, and that's what he does. X takes the lead from Herbago on the next to last lap of the race now. Does Herbago have any way to fight back? It does not look like it. Those soft tires have way better acceleration out of the corner than the mediums do. Shelby has the run on Herbago. Does he make a move under braking? Does not look like he's able to. But behind Shelby is Harry, who has a good set of tires on his McLaren as well. If Shelby is held up long enough by the Mercedes, he could lose that position to Harry. Irons gets by Ocean Lion now. Gusty falling way off the pace. The fight is for second right now. X already opened up a 1.3 second gap on Herbago, so it looks like the race is his to lose. How does Harry try to get by Shelby or Herbago? Jigsaw now by Dave. Dave's had an incident. And Irons gets another penalty. That's not going to help him out whatsoever. Shelby's still right there behind Herbago. This is the last lap of the race. Shelby, not a good run out of the corner. Harry has a run on the outside, but has to pull out. So now Shelby's gonna have to try and use DRS to get by Herbago. Shelby and Harry both will have draft down the straight. DRS opens up. This is the only time, this is one of the only 2 times we're gonna see it. Herbago goes to the inside, then goes back outside. He realizes he can't defend him. Ooh, Herbago, Harry, contact for that position, and they're really harming each other significantly down the straight. Shelby up into second. He's trying to open up as much of the gap as he can. They're still side by side for third and fourth. This DRS is working in the favor, but Harry should lunge forward under braking. They both close way in on Shelby under braking, very nearly getting to Shelby's rear tire. Shelby trying to outrun time penalties right now. That's the number one thing he's trying to do. Snake is steadied in 5th position, trying to stay ahead of Irons. Harry is right there behind Shelby. Shelby just needs to bring it home to these final corners. this could be a good windfall day for him in the points, because the points leader, Gusty, is not finishing with the points, and neither is Stone Shuffle. Coming to the finish, exits the spot, crosses the line, will take the victory here. Shelby will be a second across the line, but Harry will take that spot. Rabago comes home third. Shelby might get fourth. I don't know about that. Right now it's saying that Snake has it. Time penalties may come down. Jigsaw will actually, oh boy. Wow, the entire back of the field really screwed up there at the very end. But a very, very interesting run. But X hits the spot in the end, will take home the victory. And gets driver of the day. I could agree with that, considering some of the positions he was in earlier. Gonna try and get exits the spot into the party as you see your podium finishers. Although right now this could change a little bit, but I don't think it will. All right, coming to the party right now is your race winner. X hits the spot. X, go ahead, include your audio. A fantastic victory, a fantastic drive for you today, bringing home the victory. What do you have to say about this race?
Well, it was kind of challenging at first, but I pulled it together in the end. I took advantage of some of the carnage in the beginning. Started on medium, so that helped out a lot, and the safety cars helped out a lot, obviously. So, yeah, it was a great race.
All right, well, you take home both the victory and the fastest lap point in the end, winning by 3.5 seconds over the McLaren of Harry. So, outstanding job. Do you think you can carry this kind of performance going forward into the last few races of the season?
Yeah, I do, actually. I've been performing pretty well lately. Everything's just been clicking, so let's see if I can keep that pace throughout the season, at the end of the season. So,
all right, well, outstanding job, X, and great job on the victory. I also want to go ahead and talk to Chubby Spark. Chubby, this was a very, very interesting race from you. Walk us through the entire race from your perspective.
So, this is going to be a long one. So, second lap, I spun at the fast right-hander that I spun in Q2, or at the beginning of Q1. And I think I went off-road, but I think Stone Shuffle also went off to avoid me. So, he DNF'd because he ran into my side pod. Then I hit, got mediums. It was really chaotic. I was behind Flavor for a while. Actually, he was in the party with me before I guess he joined you. He actually couldn't see me, like, on his screen. So that's why it looked like he was just driving dirty. And so that's how I got my 3-second time penalty. And then last safety car, I got hit by Ocean Line, which I think I can get that removed since I don't think it was my fault. But overall, yeah, it was pretty chaotic, but I think after penalty removals, I might be able to move up a couple spots.
All right,
So,
well, even if you don't move up a couple of spots, this is a great day for you. The points leader coming in today only comes home 8th, and then obviously Stone Shuffle did not finish after the incident between the two of you. But I do have to say, with the way things have turned, though, we may have 2 other championship contenders to still consider going forward, because both XRL Jigsaw and V8 Irons have started to recover, and there's now starting to close in on the gap, close in on the 3 of you fighting for a championship fight. Do you think it's possible for you to still win the championship if you have to hold off 4 drivers rather than 2?
Well, Irons only scored 1 point, but might change after penalty removals and all that. But I think I'm 11 points behind in what is it called, in the standings. Gusty only scored 3 points. I don't know how many 5th is, but I think I'm close. So yeah, I mean, Iron's got 10th, so he only got 1 point. I don't know. We have a couple more races to go in the season. I don't even know what track is next, so.
We're thinking it's China.
Okay. Oh, that's not a terrible track. Okay. Yeah, I had pretty good hopes coming into here, so yeah. I say this turned out well for me.
All right, well, depending on, obviously, like you said, depending on penalty removal, you could end up being higher up the grid post-race. But yeah, either way, even still, a 5th place finish. Great job. Great job persevering throughout the day as well. Honestly, after that lap 3 accident between you and Stone Shuffle, I just to put things in perspective, I was riding on board with Stone Shuffle when that happened. Like, my heart was in my chest because I'm not even driving it, and I still felt myself trying to touch a brake pedal that wasn't there. It was that, like, terrifying.
Yeah, didn't you evade off the track or something?
Yeah, what happened by the looks of it is that, so some people, when they spin coming out of 3 and 4 here, they have a scenario where, like, the car starts to go around, then the rear tires grip and it shoots them into the outside wall. Mm-hmm. And then some people, obviously, the rears just never grip and the car just spins all the way off circuit. So it looked like Stone Shuffle thought that you were going to suddenly grip up and shoot into the outside. So to avoid, he went off circuit to thinking that you were going to grip up. And you did not, obviously, so he had nowhere to go, and he didn't realize it until the last second.
Yeah,
so.
If he's on the stream, that was really unfortunate. I mean, that was really, really unfortunate. I didn't want to take him out in any way. It's just, I spun because I had mediums on. They were still, like, ice cold. They still haven't warmed up, and then going around that corner, I think I touched the curb on the inside a bit, and that's what just sent me. So.
All right. Still, crazy day, and it looks like we're going to have, for 4 weeks in a row, 4 different changes in the championship leader. Stone Shuffle was leading the points too after Brazil, then Gussie was leading the points after Australia. Now it looks like you're going to be leading the points leading today. So, craziness to say the least. All right, well, I do want to say thanks for jumping in and talking with us. It's kind of interesting how your race has gone, to say the least, but thanks for talking. And we'll see how things go at China. There's one more person I'm going to try to talk to real quickly before we close the broadcast, but if they're not willing to jump in, that's fine.
Holy.
But anyways, for everyone, so what?
And Dick Ewert had 7 pit stops.
Yeah. Dude, the Alfa Romeo boys had more accidents than anyone else on track, and yet they just kept the cars alive to come home in the points. So, great job. All right, coming to the party now is XRL Jigsaw, formerly known as XRL Fiend. Fiend, go ahead and include your audio. Interesting day. You spent a long time today up near the front. In the end, though, everything changed and you found yourself in the back trying to drag your way up through the field. Right now, you're scored as 6th. Walk us through the day from your perspective real quickly.
6th isn't too bad considering the end of the race. Down in 11th on the safety car restart, so yeah, 6th is alright at the minute. I don't know who needs penalties taken off and stuff, so we'll have to look at that later, but 6th is okay. Yeah, not too bad.
Alright, well, the big question I have to ask for you is that obviously in the midpoint of the season you had that long string of DNFs. Well, that seems to be behind you now. You're starting to finish back in the points with some consistency, and you've been fighting for wins as well, obviously. The championship battle up front, the top 3 have keep leaving so many points on the table, and you're starting to surge, as is V8 Irons. Do you think it's possible that you could still sweep in and steal the championship?
Probably not, to be honest. Before the race today, I'm 50 points, 53 points behind. I don't know if that's possible now with this, 5 races left? Don't think it's possible, but we'll see.
I think it's 5 races.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, well, I will say mathematically it is still possible, and with the craziness that's been happening, I at least am starting to consider you and V8 Irons as championship contenders, probably until we know for certain that you're mathematically eliminated, considering how you two have been surging recently.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, V8's really quick. He deserves to be up there. It's very close at the top, isn't it? With Gusty, Stone Shuffle, and Chubby, and then obviously me and V8 back there. So yeah, any one of us could win it. Any one of us could win it. But who will?
All right, there is one other question I do want to ask, and this was on the second to last restart.
Yeah.
You're fighting to come up through the grid. In the end, you end up having contact with XRL Flavor, which ended up spinning and crashing him. So I will ask this. Flavor was having a glitch earlier today where he was not able to see Chubby on the track, and it seemed like he was driving excessively aggressive.
Okay.
Regarding that, was there a similar glitch there for
No.
you where you were having trouble seeing him, or was it
No,
just like,
not
oh
at
crap, you just appeared in front of me?
No, nothing like that. I'd rather not discuss it on stream because I'm going to be.
Okay, I was just asking if it was a glitch.
Yeah,
That's it.
No, it's not a glitch. No.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, I will go ahead and let you go.
Cool.
I do want to say thanks for being willing to jump in and talk with us.
Yeah, no worries.
That's the word from your right now 6th place finisher, XRL Jigsaw. This is one of those races, though, that post-race, we may see quite a bit of reorganization on the grid. But anyways, I've been your host for today's race, Insane Leader 13. I want to say thank you very much for